Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Strict parents raise sneaky kids. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you. They do. And this is gonna be a super innocent, chill video. Please get off my page if you're about to get mad. This video is gonna be about all the sneaky little things that I used to do growing up. I was a pretty sneaky kid growing up. I hid a lot of things behind my parents' back and I just became a really good liar. So we're gonna get into it. I just want to do a little warning, like this is not me bashing my parents at all. I'm just talking about what I did as a result of growing up with so many restrictions. I know my parents being strict and stuff came out of love, and just at the time when I was younger, I felt like it came out of control, and I did feel really controlled when I was younger. So that just resulted in me acting out and me, you know, being mischievous. And I just want to share that part of my life with you guys. And if you want to go see my TikTok, I've talked about this already before, so this is not new information. Hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed filming it. I also have a really fun surprise coming up really soon, like in 2 weeks. I'm actually in my new place right now. Surprise, surprise. Do you guys like the new little setup? So the first sneaky thing I did when I was growing up was I did have a boyfriend at the time when I was in high school, and every time he would drop me off home, I would make him park like 10 houses down. Like, you were not allowed to be anywhere near my building. And I had like several families like living in that building that I grew up in. Honestly, I feel like, oh, this pimple really hurts. I feel like I was pretty bold for doing that because I didn't even get in the back seat. Like, if this was me back then, I probably would have hopped in the back seat just in case, and I would have been like, oh, it was an Uber. But actually, I don't think Ubers were a thing back then. I'm just going in with my one size primer. Another thing I would do, so I would buy clothes, like really cute crop tops, lingerie, Victoria's Secret, all that stuff. And how would I wear it? Well, every time I would buy something, I would just hide it in my locker. I would hide it at my friend's house, or I would tell my mom, like, if I could pull it off, I would tell my mom that, you know, this is like a tank top that you wear under a shirt, or this is something that you wear over or something. I would pretend like I was layering these tops. The crop top, I'm like, oh, this is just for the long sleeves. Like, it's just so I can wear this long sleeve under like this short sleeve top. And I was definitely a transformer, and by that I mean I would either wear my clothes, wear sweatpants and really baggy clothes over it, and then I would take my baggy clothes off at school, or I would just take my clothes to school and I would change in the washroom. So you would see me walk in the baggiest sweatpants and the baggiest sweatshirt, and then walk out of the washroom in like a really cute skirt and like a cute top. I don't know. I was that person. One time my mom found my lingerie. I had them hidden in a drawer, not where I keep my underwear, where like I just kept random things. I don't know why she was looking there in the first place. And I don't know why I was bold enough to leave them there. So anyways, the minute that she finds them, she like confronts me. And because I'm just so trained at lying, like I can just lie on the spot, I look at her and I just start laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like, of course you think those are mine. Like, are you serious? You think those are mine? They're not even my bra size. Like, gaslighting, okay? Literally gaslighting. I had them there because they weren't mine. Like, I just put them out of the way. My friend, her mom didn't want her to have those types of clothes, so she just left it for me to keep. And which was such a stupid lie. I don't know. I wonder if my mom really believed my lies, or she just chose to believe them for like peace of mind or something. So I'm like, those are not mine, those are my friends. And she's like, you need to give these back to your friend. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I will. I just was keeping them for her. Like, I don't even fit in that. It's too big for me. And she was like, well, then why were you hiding them? If you know, you had nothing to hide, why were you hiding them? And I was like, well, why would I put them in my own underwear drawer? I didn't want you to think it was mine. Guys, I was a menace. But yeah, again, I wonder if she actually believed me, or if she was just like, we're gonna let this one slide. And some people might be like, I remember I got comments on this a lot, like what do you mean, what's wrong with Victoria's Secret? If you have strict parents, they don't like Victoria's Secret. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? I'm just using this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, or sorry, flawless filter to bronze myself. I do like that. Ooh, that looks really good, guys. Actually, this is another crazy story. So we had a lot of like school dance nights when I was younger and when I was in high school. And this one time, this one high school dance, I decided that I would take a singular shot, okay? One shot. And this was at the beginning of the night. The only reason why my parents let me go was because I said I was running it, like I was a volunteer. It was like part of my school's club or whatever. And volunteering was a lie that I used a lot, but I did volunteer a lot in school. It's just half the time I would just be like volunteering to go to the mall or something, or like to go to a movie night with my friends or whatever, or like just stay out a little later to just even like talk to my friends, you know, like I wasn't doing anything crazy. So this school thing, they already knew I was part of this one club. So I said, oh, we're hosting it. We're chaperoning, making sure everything's okay. I was acting like I was some big exec or whatever for this club. I was required to be there. And I come home and my mom immediately smells me. And because I've never been out like that before, like I wasn't expecting it. So she smells me and then she smells my breath and she's like, it smells like alcohol. And I'm freaking out on the inside. I'm like, I just need to deny this. So I'm like, Mom, like, why would I drink? I was like, it must have been some kids that were drinking, like when they showed up, like alcohol. I told her alcohol's prohibited at this school dance. Like it's a school run dance. Everyone's underage. They're not allowed to drink. And I was like, there were a few people that were drinking and I had to kick them out, like with the teachers and stuff. Like we had to catch anyone that was drinking and remove them because it was like unsafe or whatever. And she's like, no, it's your mouth that smells like it. And I was like, oh my God, why does my nose look crooked? I was like, oh my God, what if someone spiked my drink? Like I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, what if like I left my drink on the table and like someone put something in it? Like what if I actually did drink? Like, oh my God, God is gonna be so upset with me. I can't believe it. Like what if I did drink, Mom? Oh my God. And then I start crying. Because I'm guilty that I did something sinful by accident. And I was like, Mom, am I gonna go to hell? Like, guys, why was I an actress? I clearly picked the wrong career in university. I have this really weird bald spot on my nose. I was drinking. Oh my God, Mom, what do I do? And then she's like, oh my God, stop freaking out. Just go to the washroom and wash your face. Like, just don't worry about it. And so I go to the washroom, I rinse the shit out of my mouth, like mouthwash, toothpaste, everything. I'm scrubbing my tongue. Like I'm just trying so hard to get this smell of alcohol out of my mouth. And so I come out of the washroom and I've taken my makeup off and everything. And she comes and smells me again. And she's like, oh, you know what? She smells my mouth and then she goes to my desk and she picks up my Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I remember very clearly. Also, I went in with this Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk blush. She picks up my foundation, she smells it, and she's like, you know what? I think it was your foundation. It was a drugstore product. Like, it did not smell very nice. And she's like, oh, you know what? It must have been your foundation. Thank the universe. Oh my God. I was so relieved. I can't believe she smelled alcohol on me. Like, how? I don't understand how she was able to smell that on me. Like, did I smell that bad? I need to start using a better perfume. Like, whatever I was using wasn't working. Like, I doused myself in perfume before I left, okay? I was making sure I smelled amazing, but clearly I wasn't because I wasn't using the right scents. Speaking of scents, this video is sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription that lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month for only $17. You don't have to invest a lot of money in designer fragrances. You can try them out before you commit to a full bottle. And every month you get to pick out what you receive, so there's no surprises. And I want to show you guys what I got. There's over like 700 perfumes, Gucci, Prada, Versace. So you can be sure you're getting a premium scent each month. I smell like a woman. Which one is this? I got the Dead Cool Extra Milk perfume, Avant Pure Emerald perfume, and I got the Michelle Germain Sugarful. I think Sugarful is probably my favorite. This is Pure Emerald. I also love that these are like super portable. Wait, I think I like Pure Emerald. Oh my god, that smells like, it literally smells like cotton candy. So you can try the scent for a full month before committing to the full bottle. Oh my god, I don't know where I'm gonna... Oh, this smells like very neutral. I chose this Dead Cool one because I kind of wanted an everyday scent. And then I have Pure Emerald, which smells super girly. It's giving Barbie, it's giving girl. And then I have my womanly scent. I don't have a lot of designer perfumes. I feel like I'm too scared to commit to them, but I feel like it's great with Scentbird for only $17. I can enjoy the expensive smells without burning my wallet. Guys, these bottles, this is such a generous size for a perfume tester, and it's so easy to travel with. Like, you just flip it, apply as needed. I smell amazing right now. It's available in Canada and the US. You can use my code MINA55 off for 55% off your first month, which brings it to around a little over $7 for your first month. Moving on, when I was on the phone with my friends, I would refer, like if we were telling each other a story or just talking about something that happened in school or talking about our crushes and like our interactions with them, we would refer to these guys with girl names, or we'd use the pronouns she, her. Come to think of it, like if my mom was listening in on these conversations, which occasionally she would probably think I'm lesbian or something. Like the way I'd be talking about these guys, being like, oh my god. Instead of saying Nick, for example, you could say Nicole. So we'd be like, oh my god, Nicole like was just so this, and oh, Nicole is just like, I can't stop thinking about her, and you know, we made eye contact today and like I was screaming, like she's definitely in love with me. Like, I'm surprised my mom didn't catch on with that. Actually, speaking of the phone, this one time I was talking to this guy on the phone and I was like swearing, like I think I was like, oh fuck you, like you're so annoying. My mom overheard, and to her, the F word is just like such a big thing. Like, we use it so casually nowadays, but for her, it means the other thing. Like, that's what it means. And she took full offense to it. And she's like, who are you saying these bad words to on the phone? Like if I was to say the F word on the phone with a boy, it was like as if I lost my virginity. Sorry, I just like tripped out because I'm like, where is my Charlotte Tilbury? Where is the rest of it? So she's like, who are you on the phone with? And I'm like, no one. And she's like, I heard a man's voice. Like, I heard a man's voice. You were talking to a guy on the phone. You were saying the F word to a guy on the phone. And I'm just freaking out. And I'm like, no, it wasn't a boy. It was my teacher. And guys, it was like 10 p.m. at night. Why am I on the phone with the teacher? So obviously she was like, why are you on the phone with your teacher? And I'm like, we're discussing, he's the teacher that supervises the club that I'm a part of, and we're just discussing something that's gonna happen tomorrow morning. We're just doing a quick call or whatever. And she's like, why did you say fuck to your teacher? Why do you say the F word to your teacher? And I'm like, oh, like, no, mom, it's just like a casual word in conversation. I wasn't actually swearing at him. Like, I wouldn't get in trouble. Like, why would I say that to a teacher if I knew it wasn't okay to say? Like, it's just a casual word. And she's like, no, you are saying the F word to your teacher. And she told my dad. I actually got grounded because they were like, we can't believe you swear like that to your teachers. That is so disrespectful, which props to them because, you know, they really do be respecting the teachers. Anyways, so I did get grounded for like a week. Thank God. It was just that. You need to learn how to respect your elders and speak to your teachers, which fair enough. Honestly, they were right. Like, I would never say the F word to my teacher, first of all. How I would go out when I was younger, I had this one friend that like my parents knew and met. I actually had two of these friends. And every time I was going out or whatever, I would just tell my parents I'm hanging out with them. So like if I was hanging out with a guy, if I was hanging out with like any other person, if it was like a big group thing, like I would tell my parents I was hanging out with these two particular girls and they love these girls, so they would always say yes, like sure, go ahead. And my friends, some of them also grew up with strict parents, so they did the same thing. Like if they were going somewhere, they'd just be like, oh, I'm going with Mina, and like they were allowed. So I'm so happy that I grew up with friends that kind of went through the same experiences that I went through, because we could all just relate to each other. Another thing I would do on the phone was I would like if I was talking to a guy, I would be whispering like, I love you, you're so cute. Like, is that where pillow talking came from? Like, no, I was dead ass whispering when I was talking to people on the phone. And then I would just have to immediately hang up because I'm like, oh my god, my mom's gonna come in the room. Let me tell you guys how I was able to go to prom when I was a junior. Okay, I somehow convinced my parents, it wasn't even my prom year. I somehow ended up going with my boyfriend because he was a year older than me. I basically told my parents, again, I was volunteering for prom, and I made a fake Facebook post. I found an app where you can make a fake Facebook post, and I basically made one with the school president saying, oh, we're looking for volunteers, and whoever volunteers will get a free meal. And I'm like hyping this meal up to my parents. I'm like, oh my god, it's like a gourmet, like fancy meal. Oh my god, I have to go. My friends are volunteering too. Like, it'd be so great, such a great opportunity. They agree, and I say, you know, there's like a setup crew and a cleanup crew. I'll only stay for the setup and then I'll leave. Like, I won't stay out late. I went to prom, and then the second year that I went to prom, I had bought a dress that was kind of like a wraparound dress, and I could like mimic, you know, a sleeve with it if I wanted to. It wasn't meant to be worn as a sleeve. I also didn't want it to be worn as a sleeve. I wanted it just like, it wasn't even a v-neck. Like, I just wanted my shoulders to show, I guess. I don't know. I had shown my mom how I was gonna wear it. I went to prom. I changed obviously at my friend's house, and I had my friend who's actually in graphic design right now. This queen really manifested her graphic design career. She photoshopped my prom photos to make it look like I had the original sleeves that I had told my mom that I was wearing. So that's what I did for prom, and I had to be home early as well, which I didn't mind. Like, I didn't really care to go to after prom, which is basically an Airbnb. Everyone gets drunk, whatever. You know what? This is just gonna have to work. It looks like it. When I look straight up, like, it disappears. So speaking of face paint, we had like a grade 12 skip day, and I was helping host it. So it's basically just a day where all the seniors skip school, and it's kind of funny because we had a like test on that day, but we told our teachers like, we're not coming in for the test, just letting you know. So they had to move the test around, which I thought was kind of funny. I was wearing like a tank top, and I had face paint of like just drawings, whatever, all over my chest because like we had face painting there, you know. My friends like drew pictures. It was like over here, okay, just on my chest. And I was wearing a tank top. It was on my chest. Okay, nothing crazy. I take tons of photos that day with my friends. We all have a really good time. And the next day comes along, and I'm talking to my dad or whatever, I think, or my mom, or maybe both of them, I don't know. And I'm wearing my like traditional clothing at home because we weren't allowed to wear sweatpants or anything at home. We had to wear traditional clothes. My dad, I forgot if it was my dad or my mom, but one of them notices like faded marks on my chest, like a little bit. And my mom, like, I'm pretty sure it was both of them. And then my dad points it out, and then my mom comes to me and kind of like looks under my chest, not under my chest, but just like moves the garment a little bit, and she sees like marks on my chest, and she's like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's just like face paint. Like, we had a school spirit day, and I was just wearing like a normal t-shirt, and like we were just drawing on each other's faces and our chest and stuff. Like, and she's like, she was kind of really mad at me because she thought it was like, she's like, what kind of low cut shirt were you wearing? And I was like, Mom, it wasn't even that low. And so I take my phone and I go to the washroom, and for some reason in my gut, like, I just know that they're gonna look through my phone for some reason because they seem to be really freaking out over it. So I go into the washroom. I have this calculator app, okay? Which I'm sure if you've grown up with strict parents, you probably have this app as well. It's basically an app disguised as a calculator. And you enter a certain passcode with the numbers on the calculator, and then it opens the phone. Otherwise, it works like a regular calculator. So I export all my photos into this calculator app, everything, and I have some pretty bad like photos in there of me during that skip day, like doing not so great things, not like things basically that I would not want them seeing ever. I hide all these photos into my calculator app. I delete them off my regular photos, and lo and behold, as soon as I step out of the washroom, my dad calls me to the living room, And he's like, let me look at your phone. And I was like, why do you need to look at my phone? Me just in my head, like, laughing because I'm like, bruh, you thought I was stupid? You thought I was feeding you? No, I'm joking. So my dad goes on my phone, looks at my photos. He just goes through, I'm like, what are you looking at, Baba? Like, what are you looking at? And he goes through, obviously there's nothing in my photos. That's it. Like, they never questioned me about it after. Like, once they saw my photos, they're like, oh, okay, now she's good. I just had this sixth sense when it came to my parents. Like, I just knew until I got caught and left for 4 years. But that's a story that I've already talked about. It was only a matter of time before I got caught, though, let's be real. Oh, another thing though, so when I was in university, my dad wanted my location 24/7, and I don't think it was just for safety. Like, he didn't want me going to the mall after school. Like, he didn't want me doing anything. He wanted me to be in my dorm the entire time, just go for school and come back, and that's it. Like, you're not allowed to go out, which obviously I did. I'm in university, come on. So I downloaded a VPN, which, if you don't know, you can basically fake the location of your phone. So it tricks all your apps, like your entire iPhone, into thinking that you are in another country or in a certain place. So I used this VPN, paid $100 to track my location. So when I would leave with my phone, it would, like for Snapchat, for example, it would show my Snapchat like that I'm in my dorm. Another strict parents raise sneaky kids situation. I secretly took a dance class when I was in grade 10. And how I did this, basically my parents never looked at my report card. They just knew I got good grades. So they didn't feel the need to check it. They didn't even know when I got my report card. They just never bothered asking because I was always doing well in school. I never had trouble in school. And so I told my mom I was taking this like girls only dance fitness class. Like, specifically, it's a fitness dancing class, girls only, which was so funny because my dance partner in grade 10 was a guy. He was gay, okay, so it doesn't count. My parents thought it was like an all girls thing. And honestly, it was I'm so happy I took that class. Like, I never felt more alive, more confident, like more happy than I was dancing. For a dance night, for example, because like part of our grade was we had to perform in front of the school, and it was after school hours. So I again told my parents that there was a grade 8 orientation where all the middle school kids were coming to tours the high school, and I volunteered for it. Volunteering was just really my savior here. I don't know how I feel about these lashes, but yeah, with all this volunteer work, you would have thought I had like 5,000 plus hours of volunteering. I just want to say, please don't take this video too seriously. I was young. I did a lot of things back then. This is just like a funny, innocent video of like what I did when I was like a little kid. My mischievous little things that I did. I don't think they were huge bad things. I was just a kid with immigrant parents, strict immigrant parents, living my life in the Western world. It was never that serious. Anyways, I really do believe strict parents raise sneaky kids. I feel like the more that you restrict your kids, and I don't mean don't discipline them, like I'm still gonna discipline my kids, but when I tell them not to do things or they're not allowed to do certain things, I will always give them a proper reason as to why they can't do certain things, so they're not left wondering, you know, my parents are just doing this because they want to control me. Because I feel like a lot of the times our parents tell us not to do things, but they would never tell us why. It was always, oh, because I said so. And I feel like that's where that rebellious nature comes from, because it doesn't feel like there's any valid reason as to why you're not allowed to do things, which I'm sure a lot of the things that my parents didn't want me doing came out of a place of like protection. Some of it was a little bit far-fetched in my opinion. I know their intentions were good. How does the makeup look? Am I Ariana Grande? You could never make me hate Ariana Grande. I don't care what the fuck she does in her personal life. I just listen to her music. They came from a good place, but that's just what I did as a result of being restricted, and I definitely have toned down so much since then. And finally, I just want to thank Scentbird for sponsoring this video and supporting my channel. Check out the links that I have below. I have the specific perfumes that I use. Make sure to check them out. We love you, Scentbird, for supporting our story times, okay?